Welcome to the voice of St. Anthony Parish from Allston, Massachusetts, right here on WROL, 950 AM, 100.3 FM. And you can also hear us at CatholicAudiomedia.com. That's CatholicAudiomedia.com. Well, today we are continuing the ninth week of Ordinary Time. It is Wednesday, and we're talking about some of the issues to kind of look at and not necessarily get lost in some of the things people are saying today, but kind of looking at everything through the eyes of faith. Like, for example, one of the things that you will hear, especially on the radio and on different things, is people will say how there are people trying to take over our country. That may, in fact, be true. I don't know. That may, in fact, not be true. I don't know. And I don't want to walk down that path. Now, the reason why I'm telling you that is when you happen to maybe listening to other programs where they start saying that, okay, fine. But remember, we're coming, well, okay, fine, they're saying that, no, not okay, fine, anyone's trying to take over our country. You got that. Something to keep in mind, and always understand, the United States is a powerful force in the world. And when you are a powerful force in the world, there are others that will always try to take you down. And what is their most effective technique? A small country can take over a large country by turning the people against each other. So that's why it's really important for us to look at everything through faith and to be, as Jesus says, to be as gentle as doves, but as wise as serpents. And I'll be honest with you, especially, which I always am, but especially during this time in June, when you have some people in the church that are saying things that other people realize that they don't understand. And you see this all the time. They may be as gentle as doves. Some of them may not be, but they're not very wise. And be aware of that. And I'm not going to go into any specific names. I'm not talking about anyone in the Archdiocese of Boston that I know of. But you will see this on Twitter a lot, and they're just not being wise. And so I need you to be as wise as serpents, as Jesus says, but as gentle as doves. Why? Because our role is to look at everything through the eyes of faith. Now, remember what the Catechism taught, and I said this in a homily a few weeks ago. The reason for faith is to teach us those things that we do not have a capacity to understand. That's what faith is all about. So why is it that Jesus is coming, and why is it that we are learning this faith, and why is it that Scripture is there and everything else? Remember, we as Catholics believe in faith and reason, so faith is not there to replace our reason, but to supplement it. So that our reason there is only a certain amount of understanding we can have of the world around us, and our reason helps us to understand that which is beyond our ability to comprehend. And you know what? You're going to find that nowhere else but in science. And the reason is because this is one of the reasons why I know there are people who are reading this, who are listening to this program right now, who absolutely do not believe in evolution. But if you understand what evolution teaches and what faith teaches, you will understand that evolution proves why faith is necessary. Simple question. If someone says they do not believe in God, what that ultimately means is that they understand all of reality. They do not see God, therefore God does not exist. Can you prove to me that if you're assuming evolution, that you have evolved to the point that you can either see or comprehend all of reality? And the answer to that question is no. I mean, you can study it all you want. The answer to the question is no. And this is an important message for us to realize. That's why we as Catholics do believe in evolution. We believe in faith and reason. We believe in faith and science. And that's one of the reasons, because science itself teaches us the need for us to realize that God exists. So that's one of the places that I always begin. But in light of that, if you're looking at what I was saying yesterday, that we are a flawed race. And that's what That's what we understand through our faith, that we are a flawed race, that we have this inclination to sin. Let's call it another way. We have an inclination to go off the path. And that's right there. And as I said yesterday, don't look for signs in the sky that Jesus is going to come back in about 15 minutes, but instead look at what's going on in the world around you, how what's happening in the world around you is proving what we believe. And many of the people who don't understand that are, as I said, like in the movie, It's a Mad, 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 Mad World at the very end, which I recommended you to go see. It's about 2.5 hours long, by the way. But there you go. And we're called to basically see what the others cannot see because they don't have the eyes of faith, because they reject faith. Now, we're going to talk more on the other side of the break. You're listening to the voice of St. Anthony Parish from Allston, Massachusetts, right here on WROL. Don't forget to tell others where they can find our program. You can hear us on WROL 950 AM and WROLradio.com at 3 p.m. Eastern Time, Monday through Friday. We then podcast the program on your favorite podcast platform and at CatholicAudiomedia.com. That's CatholicAudiomedia.com. You can also hear us at our parish website, that's St. AnthonyAlston.org. That is StAnthonyAlston.org. Let others know where you can find us and spread the word about the Catholic Audio Media podcast. And don't forget our own website, StAnthonyAlston.org is also where you can find the parish itself, StAnthonyAlston.org. And you can listen to the radio show over there if you'd like. So check that out. And don't forget, you have a standing invitation to our 10 o'clock a.m. Mass on Sunday. So as I said, there is this move in our society right now, especially against Catholics, to reject Catholics because they want to eliminate all faith out of society. Well, what is the fruit of that? Why do they want to do that? Let's go back to the first temptation, so that they can be like gods. That's literally what's going on. So isn't that proving what it is we believe? And this is where we want to look at this. As you look at this reality and you see people who are trying to reject the church, and you're trying to get the church out of society and really trying to turn Catholics and other Christians into, at best, second-class citizens, you want to look at, aren't the people, the way they're reacting to us, proving what we believe? And as I said, so how do we respond to that? Well, you do not respond by attacking them. And this is important, because if we believe everything we believe, and we believe that human beings are flawed and human beings have this ability to make the wrong decisions in light of the reality around us, and we already talked about where does this lead us, and this leads us down a very ominous path. Are you going to attack the people who unknowingly are causing this? Or are you going to realize, and this is a point by Walter Wink, that they are caught up in a spirituality, a negative spirituality, that is leading them down the wrong path? And therefore, if you're going to respond, you're going to respond to the negative spirituality. And this is what Walter Wink teaches, and therefore that's our fight. So you do not fight a material battle with a spirituality. You can't. So that's why, we'll take, for example, the Los Angeles Dodgers. I'm sorry, I'm from the East Coast. The word Brooklyn still pops in with the Dodgers. The Los Angeles Dodgers and the Sisters of Perpetual Indulgence. Many Catholics are offended by this, and rightly so. And they feel upset by this. They feel that the Los Angeles Dodgers have made it very clear that you're Catholics and we don't like you. And that's not necessarily the message they sent, but that's the message that many Catholics have received. And, bishops have protested about this, written protest letters. Some people may protest, but stop. What's going on? And what's happening is, what you're watching is a rejection, not of our values, because our values, atheists can believe what we believe, our spirituality and our understanding of the world around us, which is bigger than even the scientists will ever understand. But they don't know that because they don't understand yet. And I'm talking about atheist scientists, not Christian scientists. Christians who are scientists. So anyway, here we are. Just want to make sure I get the term right. So anyway, what we're looking at in light of this is we can watch what's going on in our world where people are walking the wrong path, where people are going down the wrong place, and we can do everything we can instead of fighting them to say, guess what? You're proving everything we believe, but everything we believe teaches us you're walking down the wrong path, and you don't want to see where that path ends. So how do we do that? We become faithful in what we believe. So everything we see that rejects our faith, we just say, okay, fine, that's the way you want to be, fine. Don't ever expect to see me at a Los Angeles Dodgers game for the rest of my existence. But we're still people of prayer who are going to be faithful to what we believe because that's our witness to them. We'll be back tomorrow. I want to call your attention to Catholic TV, which offers great faith-filled, family-friendly programming 24 hours a day. You can find your cable channel at www.getcatholictv.com, and you can watch online on the free apps or check out the YouTube channel. Daily Mass, Rosaries, the Divine Mercy Chaplet, and the Our Lady of Perpetual Help Novena are all available online and on demand. Check out CatholicTV.com. If you would like to support our program, please consider a donation to St. Anthony Parish in Allston, Massachusetts. There are several ways to consider this. One is to purchase any of our merchandise, which you can find at the shopping tab at CatholicAudiomedia.com. That's CatholicAudiomedia.com. There are coffee mugs there. There's also my latest book, Encounter Christ in Your Humanity, all of which you can find at the shopping tab at CatholicAudiomedia.com. You can also donate to the show directly through either the Donate tab, also at CatholicAudiomedia.com, or by sending a donation through the U.S. Postal Service with your questions and comments at 43 Holton Street, Allston, Massachusetts, 02134. That's St. Anthony Parish, 43 Holton Street, Allston, Massachusetts, 02134. Finally, the best way you can support our parish is to attend Mass on Sundays at 10 o'clock and be a part of our parish. We thank you for any support you would like to give to St. Anthony Parish in Allston, Massachusetts, the sponsoring parish for this media outreach to Catholics and other Christians in the WROL, WEZE, and podcast listening audience. In Cristo vivimos.